We happy?
Yeah, we have it.
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe with Studio Kaiju RC Review, and I'm happy to be here again. We are taking a second look, a closer look at the WF30 from WeFone. That was one of the earliest reviews that I did, and one of the reasons I'm redoing it is there was problems with the sound that made it sound like I was sick. I wasn't, but the recording just really kind of altered my voice to a point I didn't like. I was doing it at my work bench at home, so it was very darkly lit, and it was just not an attractive presentation. And one thing you think of when you think of Joe from Studio Kaiju RC Review is attractive. So, anyhow, what do we get with the WF30? Let's take a look at it from the start. You get this really nice case, which has the WF30 or the WeFone logo on it, rather, and that is really super cool because when you get enough drones, the cases all start to look alike. And you start going, wow, I don't know which one is which. And you just start opening them up. So I started using a marker and writing the name of the drone on the outside of the case. I don't have to do that with this because this is right now one of two WeFones that I have, and I'm hoping to pick up one or two more in the near future. So what do you get with this? You get a nice, big, all in English manual that is 36 pages and is profusely illustrated, has lots of useful information about it, is just chock full of what to do, how to do it. You get the obligatory battery precautions. I think this must be some sort of legal thing because dealing with these kind of batteries, there's always some potential for harm that can come from that if you don't use them properly. So that at least this way they can say, hey, we included a manual. You get a spare propellers and a screwdriver. You get not one, but two really nice batteries. And these batteries, let's take a look here. These are rated at, they are 3.7 volt, 2200 milliamp hours, which is one of the reasons why they're telling you to expect to get 20 minutes per battery, meaning you're probably going to practically get around 15 to 18 minutes because there's always startup time, calibrations, and so on and so forth. But the actual flight time, 15 to 18 minutes, which is still pretty respectable. And since you get two of them, that's well over half an hour of flight time. You get a drone. Now, all folded up like this. I don't know if it looks all that impressive, but let's open it up, see what we've got. We've got there she is. Beautiful, beautiful drone. Nice, big. She's hefty. Check out that undercarriage. Lots to talk about here. So you get this really nice drone. It is pretty sizable as these things go, but not huge. And it is under 250 grams. In fact, it's rated at, it says it's 249 grams. I put it on my scale at work. My scale at work is in pounds, and it came up at 0.4. So it did not round up to 0.5. So, and since you can go to 0.55 pounds, that is, well, you don't require an ID on that, so it's not something that needs to be registered with the FAA. Then you also get, and this is really kind of cool, this is the controller for this. And the one weird thing about this is the controller takes 4 AA batteries, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. It does not come with a built-in lithium charger or lithium rechargeable battery. And because of that, you just want to keep a closer eye on your power consumption while you're flying, which will be visible on the screen when you have it turned on. The antenna, on the other hand, is this type of antenna that, where you put the phone in, and that's very nice. I love that because the drones that have the antennas that fold out and go under the phone, I always worry about, is that phone impeding the antenna? This is an omnidirectional, but it's also a more powerful antenna and keeps a very good signal on the drone. There's a GPS feature, GPS button, because honestly, there are times when you don't want to fly in GPS mode, and that would be indoors, or this is really important, where I work is very heavily GPS geofenced, rather. I'm sorry. Where I work is very heavily geofenced, and that's in and of itself, that's not a huge problem. It will launch, it'll fly, but because I'm right near both a civilian and a military airport, there are 2 different airports, there are signals that come out of there that will and have messed with the signal on GPS-enabled drones. Pretty much every GPS-enabled drone that I've flown here that was flying under GPS control, I've had problems with at one point or another. In fact, some of them have been kind of catastrophic problems. So I don't fly GPS locally. I can do this at home where I don't have that issue. The remote, beyond that, you get a nice LED screen that gives you LCD, screen that gives you lots of useful information. I don't believe I can turn it on right now. Yeah, no, I don't have the batteries in there. I'm sorry. But it gives you lots of useful information, telemetry about how the batteries are doing and how the GPS signal is, how many satellites you have, signal strength, downrange, how far you are away, that sort of thing. It's very useful to have. Then there's the speed button, calibration button. No, I'm sorry, that's a headless mode button. Your GPS button, return to home, launch and take off, and unlock. Excuse me. And up top side, you have a still camera, video camera, and camera angle up and angle down. And so it's a really nice, very cool looking controller. I really do like it. So let's talk about some of the specs that you get with this, because honestly, some of the specs are really kind of interesting. And I want to say right now, remember I told you the WeFone has this on sale currently. As I say, it's going for $111.99. That's a really good price for a GPS-enabled drone, and particularly one of this quality. This is an extremely stable flyer, and one of the things. Oh, by the way, it's got these translucent blades. I love that. They go almost invisible when it's flying. If you're hovering it, right, and you look down on it or up at it, the blades can sometimes almost disappear. It's really cool looking. But anyhow, getting back to the specs on this, this thing it's extremely stable in the air. It moves really well. And it has on board, there's if you take a look there, you can see a little micro SD card sticking out of there. That means the video signal goes from the camera into the card. And yes, you do get it streaming to your phone on an app, but the final video is the one that really counts, and that's the one that goes to the card. That's where the specs really shine. The specs are, for the video, 2048 by 1152, which is really nice. And that's at a respectable 9,709 kilobytes per second, which is pretty decent. It's not the greatest bit rate, but it's pretty decent, and it gives you a very good quality image. The color reproduction is really sharp. The frames per second, fields per second, which is the way to refer to it when it's video, is 29.54, which is about as good as you can get. So the control range is 300 meters, which clocks into close to 1,000 feet, which means you can fly this. And it's 5G connected, by the way, between the phone and the drone for the video. You can fly this up to 1,000 feet away. I don't know that I trust that, but that's what they say you can do. Me, I'm a relatively conservative flyer, and I won't be doing that. But it's still line of sight if you're really good at it. Let's see, got the weight, got the 20-minute battery. Okay, so we covered most of the specs. Listen, I can go on and on and on about it. I think it's best if you just watch the video of both this thing flying and of me controlling it, and my thoughts while I do that. That's coming up right now.
All right. One of the things I want to first notice about this thing is, listen, I am right up to it. I'm like about a foot and a half away from it. And you got to just hear this thing. It is not loud. It's very quiet. Very stable, smooth. And I love the translucent blades because when it flies, now I probably won't show this way on the camera, but right now as I look at it, I don't even see the blades. I just see the drone itself. All right, so we're going to test out a few different things that the drone's capable of doing. Let's see what we've got, okay? She's very responsive. She turns smoothly. Oh yeah, I should be recording video. She's very responsive. She turns smoothly. All right, so I don't know if you saw that, but that's the let's take her up a little higher. So right now we're at 11 meters, or 18 meters and 11 meters away from me. Let's take it out a little bit. It's on GPS mode again with 19 satellites. So she should be very stable. It's a pretty calm day today, and I love the fact that it's a completely cloudless sky. All right, so she's handled coming in nicely. Okay, now we have some features on here. I usually don't test out the features, but I think today I want to. Let's try follow me mode. So it is following me. I'm gonna move it back a little bit. And that's, all right, so I think I need to adjust where I am relative to this. Okay, let's try follow me again, because I think my adjusting that made a difference. So, yeah, the follow me is working pretty nicely, actually. It is following me. There we go. So yeah, it is following me nicely. Now we're going to try another feature. And all you have to do to take it off that mode is just adjust the throttle. So let's try circle flight. The default radius is 5 meters, so let's see what we get. So really, those are the two big modes. So you see how reactive it is. And it's pretty quick. I haven't adjusted the speed or anything like that. It's very stable. And all right. Now we're going to take her up and okay. So I took her up to 37 meters. You see it up there? Now we're going to raise that up. What a beautiful morning it is today. So the camera is going to adjust for the lighting situation. How's that for sunshine now? Fighting a little bit of wind. But she is holding on decently. Ooh, I like that. Alright, we're going to do a return to home now. Let's see how close we get to home. Those battery is down quite a bit. So where we came in at, we launched on top of that base. Let's see where we land. Wow, look at that, like about a foot off of the foot and a half off of launch point. How is that for amazing? All right, this is actually not a bad machine. Okay. You know what, you did good. All right.
Okay, so what do you think? Was that worthwhile? If you thought so, if you really like it, hit like, subscribe, follow for notifications, And also, if you're interested in the WF30, which is a really good machine, it's really nice machine. I got to tell you that. And I'm not just saying that because this was supplied to me by WeFone, which it was, but it's one of the top machines that I will take out and just recreationally fly around just because I like it. There is one thing. On the camera. If there's a drawback to it, this is probably the one area. It's not on any kind of gimbal. It's simply a single hard-mounted axis. So if you have a windy day and it's fighting the wind a little bit, that's going to translate into the video. That's for the price range this is at, especially the $111.99. That's actually not untoward. It would be nice if there was a gimbal, but for that you got to go up to the next level up, which is the WeFone WF30, which is a very nice machine too. But that's the story for another time. Anyhow, I'm Joe, Studio Kaiju RC Review. Thank you for showing up and have a nice day. And as always, be awesome.